This video is going to talk more in detail about the Remove the Gray Color Lab. If you get stuck, you might want to come and watch this video. If you want to challenge it on your own, go ahead and try to work it out on your own first. So here's the deal. When you get to these labs in your Xi book, you're going to need to read through the lab several times, and you want to pay close attention to the examples that they give you. I'm going to try to give you some examples and talk through this Remove Gray in detail so that you understand the problem a little bit more so you can then write the code. So first of all, we have these colors that are RGB colors that represent every color that's possible on your computer screen. I pulled up an RGB color picker. I just searched for RGB color picker, and what I want you to notice is look at these RGB values. This is the amount of red, green, and blue that is in a color. So as I kind of hover over blue, this is the red amount, this is the green, and then the blue is at 252. These numbers go to a maximum of 255. If I go to purple, then if you look, it has a lot of red, not very much green, and a lot of blue and purple. If I go all the way back down to this kind of reddish down here, it's lots of red, a little bit of green, a little bit of blue, but not very much. So when we talk about RGB colors, that's what they're talking about. There is this trick in RGBs, or this unique characteristic, that when I have the same RGB values, 40, 40, 40 are all the same, that is a shade of gray. So 40, 40, 40 is dark gray. Down here, 50, 50, 50 is a gray of some sort. And so what happens is if I remove like amounts from a color, I end up, quote, removing the gray, which is what you're going to do for this lab. So our first example here, which is 130, 50, 130. I don't know if I can copy this over to my, I have an Excel spreadsheet that I set up. And we are going to look at 130, 50, 130. So the algorithm, actually I'll just type it in. I got 130, 50, and 130 for my values, okay? And so the algorithm that we have to do is to remove a like amount from each one. Well, what's the most that I can remove from each of these? Is 50, which happens to be the smallest number. So 50 is the smallest number. That's what I'm going to remove from each of these. So if I do my Excel, I can take this cell minus 50, and I get 80, and I could copy that formula, except I didn't do it correctly. I can copy that formula to the other cells. So my new red, green, blue combination is 80, 0, 80. So that example that we were just looking at, that's how they get this 80, 0, 80. If our input is 200, 140, 125. Let's go back. 200, now I forgot what the numbers were. 140, 25. The first thing that you need to do is to identify, I'm using the format painter to make them larger for you. Identify the smallest number here. Well, we can pick it out fairly easily. It's 25. So then what I need to do is subtract from each of these 25. So my formula is going to be to equal this cell minus 25, which is the smallest. And I'll copy that formula over. And so the values that I get are 175, 124, and 0. That's the algorithm that you guys have to program. So the very first thing you've got to do is find the smallest, and then you subtract the smallest from each of your red, your green, and your blue values. If we go back to our assignment page, you'll notice I've provided some hints for you. So add your course comment, declare variables for green, blue, and smallest because I've already done red for you. Input green, red, and blue values. Red is already set up for you. Process to find the smallest. And then subtract the smallest from green and blue because red has already been done for you. And then you're going to create or complete the output. So your input here will be a combination of red, green, blue. So you must put in 130, 50, 130 for your input as an example. Next question is going to be is how do you process and find the smallest? That will be a different video and it won't be exactly what you need to do. The other hint that I will give you, if you click here, that kind of gets us back to our table of contents, or I could have used the table of contents on the left. But you also have an activity in this particular code for finding a largest number, which is an optional lab. And this is actually, I'm going to kind of do a video to show you how to do this lab. So hopefully that gives you enough hints to remove the gray. If you need a little bit more help, I'm also going to do a video on finding a largest value and using a common algorithm for that.